One of the biggest challenges for anyone getting into UX is the gap between what you learn in a bootcamp or a university program and how you actually execute and deliver work in the professional world. In 2000, while I was working for a software and services startup, that's when I was exposed to UX during a business development pitch for, I think it was IBM. I was in between client accounts at work, and I volunteered to help sales with pitching our new software platform to clients. The sales director I was working with asked me to show what our software experience might look like when integrated into IBM's intranet. So I wound up creating my first set of, mid-fidelity wireframes in PowerPoint, and from that point on, I was hooked. I connected with the lead interaction designer on our software product team, and he encouraged me to check out the human-computer interaction program at DePaul here in Chicago. After I enrolled and had a few quarters under my belt, I continued to do volunteer projects with that company, and even as I moved on to other companies, I'd assist here and there with product initiatives. And while I realized that things worked much differently in the professional world versus the full process I was learning in grad school, it really wasn't until I moved into doing UX and product design full time that I truly realized that you have to bend, break, and reshape what you learn academically to adapt to a multitude of different situations when you're boots on the ground in the professional world, working for any number of companies. So a lot of seasoned UXers and designers say that the real UX process is messy. It's not meticulously structured like it is, when they teach you the core user-centered design process in boot camps or university programs. And for the most part, they're right. However, what I've noticed over the years is it's not necessarily the UX process itself that's messy so much as the software development and product solution process being used, by your client or your company. Critical thinking and being a business-minded subject matter expert is going to enable you to use UX as a fluid movement that adapts to a raw, rough, and messy process. You have to think of UX less as a cyclical process that has steps and motions, and more as a set of approaches and methods and tools that you can use to create a custom approach for any given situation you're in at any given time. You're ultimately working to add value to the solution, to the team and the business. And it's this kind of reality that creates a gap for junior level professionals starting out. Now, one of the major goals of this course is to build a bridge and create some meaningful connections for you. Okay. Now we're going to drill into a lot of detail. So just let everything I just said, and these broad stroke ideas, let that just start to sink in and germinate a little bit. Okay. A question I get a lot when I'm coaching or mentoring people is what their area of focus should be on in the market and with their, portfolio. There's a lot of desire for clarity around what UX professionals that have been working for 5, 10, 15 years are focused on and what type of experiences they work on and deliver. Nielsen Norman Group did a fairly recent study on this, and here are the results. My answer to this is it really depends. Okay. It depends on if you go and work on an in-house product team or you go and work at an agency or a consultancy. Regardless, though, the work can vary widely, which is a good thing. If we look at the top 50% of what respondents say they've worked on in the past 5 years, it's clearly in the web, mobile, and enterprise app space. So they've included websites with web apps. So I'm not sure exactly how they're defining the two, but let's just stick with web apps. Okay. Website work is great and it's an important part of a business's ecosystem, but it's really the more kind of public facing branded aspect of the business and is more for marketing and communications with little to no real user interaction with data and systems outside of the authentication wall. So let's just focus on web apps since these really represent richer experiences where users are interacting and doing things according to their context and needs. Well, this is why they have you focus on web app and mobile app projects and boot camps and university programs because so much work falls within these areas. However, the real sweet spot of work is really on enterprise applications. Enterprise apps are great because it's most often these types of sophisticated and complex systems that are a business's platform of software as a service applications or a suite of applications. So enterprise application work is where you really start getting into designing for mid to large scale experiences that support a myriad of end user types and really use cases. Depending on the industry, it could be, customers, partners, vendors, employees, and business leadership, all of which are providing experiences that expand and scale over time. The challenge is that they don't teach or really simulate these types of projects in UX academic programs. So when you're interviewing for jobs, it can at times turn into a disadvantage because companies you may be interviewing with are looking for candidates with experience working on enterprise SaaS apps. Now, the approaches I'm going to teach you here will help make you be more competitive in these situations because you'll be able to communicate and demonstrate how you have what it takes for someone to take a chance on you. Okay. And I'll also be providing you with portfolio booster challenges that you can work on and get support with from the community. So let's go ahead and transition into how we need to think about the UX discipline in the context of the professional domain space. And I'll see you in the next video.